Hello everyone and welcome to my 100-day grounded challenge to see how far we can get within 100 days. And today we are on days 5 and 6. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves an acorn shovel because we are going to make ourselves some foundations to make a base on. And we're also going to be looking for a good base location that will help us out and that will be maybe a bit more central to the map, that will help us get around better. And so now that we have gotten some clay, we are now going to analyze the clay. And of course now we can make all these different things, vases, foundations, so on and so forth. Now at this point I decided that I was going to go out and venture to find a place to set up camp to make a proper base. And I got attacked by this long mite. And then absolutely out of nowhere, a bombardier got aggroed on me. And this was the first time on this character, this low level character, that I actually fought something as powerful as a bombardier. But we weren't completely helpless as we had a spiky sprig. We took down the mite first and then we let the bombardier do his sting. And then from there I just slowly chipped away at his health. And tried to keep myself away from the sizzling effect. If you've ever actually seen a bombardier beetle in real life do its thing, it's actually very fascinating and also rather scary that there's animals out there with that biochemical reaction. And so we finally took him down and got our first bombardier parts, which we would have to use in future crafting tools. And we found a burgle flag down by a couple of nuts. From there I decided that I was going to harvest these 2 acorns and use them for future chests in our build, so that we can store as many supplies as we can and so that we can make spinning wheels and planters in the very near future, which will be really important for us to get lots of food and also to grow mushroom bricks once we get the desired tools. And so we researched the bombardier parts, and what this would allow us to do was make an insect axe, which is very important, and the bombardier mount along with a stuffed bombardier as well, which wasn't too bad. So at this point I came to the flooded zone to harvest lots and lots of clay, where I encountered my first water flea. And apparently they're hostile, but he didn't seem that hostile to me. And we killed a few of them, brought them back along with a big pile of clay. And from there we decided to drop in some supplies, including our clay, 166 clay parts, which is rather good from the area that I actually harvested from. And then we analysed the water fleas, and this allowed us to make some decoy baits and liquid gills. This will be handy for when we have to go into the pond itself properly. So I went back out to carry on scouting an area. I thought about near the anthill, but unfortunately with the amount of stink bugs that were about, even when I was trying to build the basic foundations, these stink bugs were just non-stop attacking and being aggroed. So I figured this area just would not be buildable, at least for the time being, unless I wiped out all the stink bugs and then built. But even then, whenever I'd be in the area, the chances are the stink bugs would just start attacking my base. It's probably something to do with the faction aggravation as well. So this was my first time taking one on, especially at this level. And it wasn't an easy fight. I had to try and keep myself away from the toxic smog, but that was easier said than done, as they are quite good at moving about in a way that makes you want to back up, and maybe even eventually accidentally back up into their smog. And so now we took them down and got some bombardier parts. Eventually I decided to travel to the oak tree and go down by the edge of the pond, and this is where I decided that I would begin the process of building a basic foundation so that we could build a large base. Eventually with a ramp leading down to the water, which will be handy in the future, and where we can make a multi-story tower for zipping from one side of the pond to the upper yard. At this point, as you can tell, we were now into day 6. due to the area that I was in, it was actually rather difficult at this level to produce a base quickly on the side of the pond, quite simply because there wasn't as much grass around and way too many orb weavers and wolf spiders around. Now I knew that this would actually make traversing a lot more difficult, and I'd have to be mindful of where I was coming in from so that I could actually properly utilize everything. But it is a very good location for building a basic base, and it gives you a good entryway into the pond, which will be great. Well guys, now we're going to pop down a sleep easy, and we are at the end of day 6. If you have enjoyed the video guys, please like, share and subscribe, and comment below and let me know what you all think. This has been Crypto Gamer guys. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Peace out.